Beginning, the day everything changed. My name is Daxon Reed, 25 years old, unemployed, and living in a world changed forever by something called the pairing lottery. 5 years ago, Earth made contact with dozens of alien civilizations, peaceful ones. They offered knowledge, technology, medicine, but most famously, cross-species companionships. A universal exchange program meant to strengthen interplanetary unity. Everyone who enrolled was assigned a partner from another world, guaranteed to be psychologically compatible and emotionally gentle.
Yeah,
that part was important. The aliens insisted that Earth needed calm guidance. No conflicts. No soldiers. No warriors. So, everyone who participated ended up with peaceful companions. Soft-spoken healers. Meditation-obsessed philosophers. Plant-tending caretakers. Everyone got gentle. Except me. The morning of my pairing, the officials' faces changed from mild boredom to utter panic as they looked at my file. Whispers. Wide eyes. A trembling supervisor. The announcement speaker glitching. Then one sentence. Subject Daxon Reed, matched to Princess Kalara of the Vorthuri Dominion. Everything went silent. Because the Vorthuri were not gentle. They were the most feared warrior race in the galaxy. Nobody had ever been paired with one, let alone royalty. And this wasn't the kind of news that meant congratulations. It meant trouble. The guards began sealing the room's exits the moment her shuttle descended from the sky like a silent blade slicing through the clouds. Black metal. Crimson markings. Energy thrusters glowing like a predator's eyes. Everyone stepped back.
Me?
I was trying not to pass out. When the ramp lowered, I expected a towering monster. A 10-foot beast with claws or glowing fangs. But what I saw was something else entirely. A woman. Beautiful, devastatingly so, but unmistakably lethal. Her armor shimmered with dark scales that shifted like liquid metal. Her long silver-black hair flowed behind her like a storm. Her eyes glowed with golden intensity, scanning the crowd with predatory precision. And then she looked at me. Not at anyone else. Just me. Her gaze locked on mine, as if she already owned my fate. She walked forward, slow, measured, every movement radiating impossible strength. Then, in a voice smooth as polished obsidian, she spoke. Daxon Reed, you belong to me now. Everyone froze. I didn't even have time to respond before she placed her gauntlet hand on my chest, marking me with a faint burning symbol, a crest shaped like a twin-bladed sun. The Vorthuri bond mark. People chose gentle. I got a warrior princess. And my life was never normal again. Middle. Living with a weapon. Kalara was complicated. On day 1, she inspected my apartment like a battlefield. This dwelling is structurally weak, she declared. Unacceptable for a bonded pair. You mean partners? Warriors do not partner. We bond.
Oh.
Okay. Totally normal. Then she shattered my kitchen table by setting her weapon on it. Literally just setting it down. The Vorthuri prided themselves on discipline, strength, and emotional restraint, but Kalara displayed all three with the intensity of a thunderstorm. She woke me at dawn for battle readiness drills. No warning. Just pulling the blanket off me like ripping off a bandage.
Rise.
You must learn to evade a glancing strike. Kalara, I'm not. She sliced a pillow in half beside my face. That was a glancing strike. My neighbors complained.
Daily.
But there were moments, fleeting, unexpected, when her voice softened. When she stared at the stars through my window with a quiet ache. When she asked questions no warrior should care about. Why do your people decorate with lights during celebrations? What is the purpose of music if not to rally for war? Why do humans smile even when hurting? She was terrifying, yes, but she was lonely too, and no one on Earth understood her, except me. The assassins in the night. It started 3 weeks into her stay. We were returning from a grocery run, something she insisted on treating like a reconnaissance mission, when she suddenly froze. Her eyes narrowed. Her hand lifted slightly. "Daxon," she said quietly, "step behind me."
Why?
"What's?"
Now.
Her voice left no room for argument. I moved. She reached behind her back and drew her twin-edged blade, the one that hummed with red energy when angered. The air shimmered. 3 figures uncloaked around us, wearing dark armor marked with jagged symbols. Kalara hissed. "The Drathari. Traitors." Before I could blink, they attacked. Kalara moved like lightning, not fighting, dancing. Every motion clean, precise, lethal. She deflected plasma bursts with her blade. She spun, kicked, dodged, and struck like a goddess sculpted for war. One assassin rushed me. I panicked, obviously, but before I could scream, she was already there, shield slamming into the attacker with bone-shattering force. "Touch him, and I will dismantle your soul," she growled. The fight lasted only seconds. Kalara demolished them. But the message was clear. Someone was hunting her. Someone dangerous. And, by extension, hunting me. When the dust settled, she placed a hand on my cheek, a shockingly gentle gesture for someone who had just snapped a man's spine. "I failed to protect you," she whispered. I swallowed hard. "Kalara, I'm fine. You could have died. But I didn't." Her voice faltered. A tiny crack in the armor. "For the first time in my life," she said softly, "death is not something I face alone." She stepped back, shaking her head as if furious with herself. "This bond changes things. It weakens me. Or maybe," I said, "it makes you stronger." She stared at me for a long moment, golden eyes softening in a way I'd never seen. Then she whispered, "I do not understand humans, but you're learning." "I do not want to learn."
Pause.
"I want to protect you." And for the first time, I realized she wasn't guarding me because of some cultural obligation. She was guarding me because she cared. The truth about the bond. That night, Kalara revealed the truth. The Vorthari pairing program wasn't random at all. She had requested a human. Only one.
Me.
"Why?" I asked, stunned. "You saved my life," she said simply. "What?" "When?" 3 years ago. During the Tri-System crisis. You diverted your evacuation pod to rescue survivors from a collapsing freighter. One of those survivors was my cousin." I stared. "I didn't even know." "But I did," she continued. "And when Earth joined the pairing exchange, I used every ounce of my authority to find you. And everyone else got gentle while I got." I gestured vaguely at her armor. "You." "Yes," she said proudly. "I chose you." The room felt smaller, warmer, more dangerous, but in a good way. "But why mark me?" I asked. "Why give me the bond mark?" Her gaze softened. "Because once a Vorthari chooses." She stepped closer. "We do not unchoose." My heart hammered. I didn't know what to say. So she said it for me. "You are not property," she whispered. "You are not a servant. You are my equal. My bonded other half. My chosen." "You're a princess," I said weakly. "I'm a guy who can't even fold laundry." She smiled, actually smiled. "Then I will teach you." Middle climax, the abduction. It happened at 3:14 a.m. The world shook. Not an earthquake, a teleportation shockwave. Before I could get out of bed, a portal split open in the room. Dark figures surged through and slammed a stun cuff on Kalara before she could reach her weapon. She roared, the kind of sound that cracks the air. Daxon, run. I'm not leaving, I began. A blast hit me in the chest. Not lethal, but paralyzing. I fell. Through blurred vision, I saw them dragging her toward the portal. Her eyes locked on mine. Not afraid, not furious, but heartbroken. Daxon, she whispered, do not follow. If they take you. And then she was gone. The portals snapped shut. I couldn't move for nearly 2 minutes. But when I could, I didn't hesitate. I called the only number she ever forbade me from dialing, a Vorthary emergency beacon. Within minutes, a heavily armed warship descended through the atmosphere like a burning meteor. A towering commander stormed out. You are Daxon Reed? Yes. Princess Kalara has been taken by the Drathari rebellion. I'm going after her. The commander let out a low growl. You are human, fragile, powerless. She chose me, I said, and you're not stopping me. A long moment passed. Then he slammed a gauntlet onto my chest. Then you will need armor. The rescue. The mission was complete madness. The Drathari stronghold was inside an asteroid fortress shielded by ion storms. Even Vorthary warriors avoided it. But I wasn't alone, and I had something they didn't. I knew Kalara better than they expected. We infiltrated the base. I wasn't strong. I wasn't deadly. I wasn't a warrior. But I was smart. I crawled through ducts, hacked access panels, disabled security grids with Kalara's training echoing in my head. And finally, I reached her. She was chained in a containment field, exhausted, bruised, but unbroken. Her head snapped up when she saw me. Daxon?
No.
No, you should not be here. Tough, I said, smashing the field generator with a tool she taught me to use. I'm here anyway. The field flickered. She lunged into my arms. For a moment, she wasn't Princess Kalara, warrior ascendant. She was a woman shaking with relief. You came for me, she whispered. Of course I did. The alarms blared. Drathari soldiers stormed the corridor. Kalara grabbed my hand. Stay behind me. Not this time. I stepped forward, raising the plasma baton the commander had given me. She stared at me, stunned. Daxon, you said we're equals, I said. So let's fight like equals. Her eyes shined with something like pride. And together, we fought. She moved like a storm. I moved like a survivor. And side by side, we won. Ending the choice that changed everything. Back on Earth, Kalara stood on my balcony, overlooking the city lights. She was quiet, too quiet. What happens now? I asked. My people will expect me to return, she said softly. But the bond mark ties me to you. You don't have to choose between us. Yes, she whispered. I do. My chest tightened. She stepped closer, placing her forehead against mine. Daxon, you changed me. Kalara.
No.
Listen. She lifted my hand and pressed it to her heart. I was born for war, trained for conquest, destined to rule an empire built on strength. And now, her voice softened into something vulnerable and painfully sincere. I want something no Vorthary princess has ever asked for. She took my hands in hers, strong but trembling. I want a life. With you. I stared at her, breathless. You'd give up your throne? For a warrior, the greatest victory is not on the battlefield, she whispered. It is choosing your own destiny.
She leaned in.
And I choose you. She kissed me, fierce, desperate, full of every emotion she once believed was weakness. When the kiss broke, she smiled, a rare, beautiful expression. Everyone else chose gentle, she said softly. But the universe gave you me. Yeah, I murmured, pulling her close. And I wouldn't trade you for anything. She rested her head on my shoulder as the night sky shimmered with distant stars. Warrior princess. Chosen bond. 2 worlds intertwined. And from that day on, I never walked alone again. Because she didn't just choose me. She stayed.